Yo, what's up, everybody, and thank you for tuning in to another Tyler Perry Sisters review. This is season 6, episode 8, entitled Uneven Playing Field. If this is your first time coming to my channel, welcome. If you are a returning family member, then you already know what it is and what it always will be. Be sure to comment, like, share, subscribe, all that good stuff, especially subscribe if you haven't already. And without further ado, we're going to get right into this thing. Y'all, now I'm not going in any type of order with this one. It's just going to come as it comes. This is almost like my initial thoughts, or just the thoughts off of the top of my head. I'm going to have a whole lot of videos for this particular episode because I got a lot of DMs and emails and things like that, in which I greatly appreciate. Some of them I was cool with, some of them y'all try to be disrespectful and all that other stuff like that, but we ain't gonna get into that. That's not the basis of this video. So these are just like my initial thoughts as to when I was watching the episode and how I personally feel about some of the things that took place. I'm gonna start with Sabrina simply because it's Sabrina and she doesn't have a very strong storyline. What I will say is that I am so sick and tired of Sabrina allowing Maurice to consistently disrespect her. And it seems like the disrespect just further and further increases and just gets more vile and degrading episode by episode. And she says nothing. Like, I really want Sabrina to give Maurice what he rightfully deserves. Because at this point, he has not taken her feelings into consideration. He has not taken what his actions has done to her life, to her way of living, to her way of providing for herself financially. And I know that could be a heavy burden for anybody to carry. But at the same time, Maurice comes off as if he's not the least bit concerned about how this has affected Sabrina. And I just don't understand what she sees as value in her connection with him. Maurice really has become a character that I can do without. He wasn't like my favorite at all by any stretch of the imagination, but at least I could tolerate him. And he's becoming a character that I can't even tolerate. I don't even enjoy seeing him anymore. And I understand he's supposed to be the comedic relief. If y'all hear all that rumbling in the background, I'm sorry, it's thundering really bad in Florida. And for those who don't know, it's hurricane season until November in Florida. So yeah, but there's just no value there. I know he's supposed to be funny, but he's not. He's disrespectful, and he has gradually become a clown. Like, that's really what it is. It's a shit show with Maurice. And so, Calvin has Maurice apologize to Sabrina. He was like, I'm sorry. Like, it wasn't even sincere. And I just want better for her. And then Calvin, if you have been listening to me for a while, you know that I am someone who do not like Calvin and Sabrina together as a couple. I think that as friends, they could be cool. But when it comes to like anything romantic, I'm not here for it. And one of the reasons why is something that he depicted in last night's episode. When Sabrina was getting ready to go, he was like, oh, I thought we could hang out. And she was telling him she really wasn't in the mood. And he was just like, oh, so like you going to hang out with old dude? And it's like, why do you do that? Why do you go there? Sabrina has so much going on in her life right now. The last thing she's concerned about is another man. But with Calvin, he consistently does things like that while he's off having sex with whomever he chooses to. But he'll do Sabrina like that. And for me, that's a red flag. I don't know what red flag it is, y'all, specifically, but to me, that's a red flag. If I don't want to spend time with you, you want to throw up in my face another dude, I just don't like that. But those just my thoughts. I'm moving right along. I'm gonna go to Fatima and Andy, and that's how the episode opened up. And I really felt Fatima in this scene. I think just as a woman, a lot of us, and even as men, I'm not gonna leave y'all out, but specifically as a woman, I understand when you get to the place of being tired, and when you get to the place of being sick and tired, and when you get to the place of when you felt like you've exerted and you've given so much that you don't have anything left to give. You're empty. And I felt that when Fatima, the first I'm tired, when she said that, like I felt that. Like Crystal did that. I felt that I'm tired because I'm like, baby, I done been there. I know people who have been there, and that I'm tired to that is a real thing. And so I was like, sis, you should be tired. You have allowed yourself to experience a hell of a lot with the man who you have not known that long. And so I don't agree with many of the choices that Fatima has made within her relationship with Zach. However, sis has been faithful and consistent. Those are two things that she has been. Because I'm like, Zach's disrespect and dealing with everything that has come with him, I would have left him a long time ago. There is just no possible way. No possible way. Because I still stand on the fact that Fatima has given and given so much and it has not been reciprocated. Just the fact that Zach has money and he purchased her a car and he has this one bedroom with this pool or this jacuzzi and you ain't think about building another. I was like, jump cut. This is so off topic. But I was like, Zach literally has a one bedroom and you bragging about this place. You ain't think to put another bedroom in there? You had the thing built. You have one bedroom, sir, and you trying to get custody of your son. Where is Michael going to sleep? Why you anyway, y'all see how going back to Fatima. I said, this girl, you have been through a lot, sis. You've allowed yourself to go through a lot. And I don't even know why you still there. I really don't. Andy, Lord Jesus. Andy is the prime example of a living, breathing warning sign. Okay? Warning sign. For example, do not enter. Slippery when wet. Wrong way. Dead end detour. Keep out. Beware of damn dog. Andy is all of those signs rolled up together and as one. Andy is literally the last person Fatima should feel comfortable and safe with while exposing her heart and expressing herself. I don't understand why Fatima feels so comfortable with Andy. I don't understand why she considers Andy a friend. I don't. In my personal opinion, that is a relationship that is so one-sided. Andy, to me, has not done anything for Fatima in a sense for her to feel as comfortable with Andy as she does to be vulnerable. Like, it's a dynamic I don't get. I do understand that Tyler Perry had to do this to create a rift or create a sense of where does the loyalty lie between Fatima and Andy and Karen. Like, I know that that's the reason why things are like this, but to me, it seems so insincere because it seems like Andy goes overboard to make sure that Fatima knows I'm there for her. And I'm like, Tyler, I understand what you're doing. I read between the lines quite well, but for me, it never came off as sincere or genuine. It was like, this has to happen for the storyline. At least for me, that's how it felt as a viewer watching it. And so Andy stated that she knows that Miss Porter's words got them upset. And my question was, well, why are the two of you guys upset? Because Miss Porter's words hit a nerve. It hit where it was supposed to hit. It should have. It should have shedded some light. Truly should have shedded some light on the crevices of the BS that both of them choose to live. And we see that BS when Gary's ass pops up in that office. But we'll get to that in a minute. And so I think Miss Porter's words hit Fatima where it was supposed to. Because Andy just looked at, oh yeah, it got us upset. And it was like, no, it was supposed to make you think. It was supposed to make you reflect. It was a moment of reflection for your life and Fatima's life and the men who you have chosen to be connected to, who you have chosen to be connected to. That's what that is. And you could tell it hit Fatima because obviously she was emotional. I'm sure she was reflecting. This is what processing actually looks like. What Fatima was going through, the questions that she was asking herself, that is definitely what processing looks like. And for a moment, I felt, okay, Fatima, I was like, choose yourself, sis. Choose yourself. And I really just wanted Fatima, girl, remember who the hell you are. And even for Andy, good Lord, even though I know that's hard. I'm trying not to be too hard on Andy, but y'all, it's hard not to, okay? But remember who the hell you are. Remember whose you are, who you are, and what you rightfully deserve. And I think that that is a message that every woman should definitely reflect on, because a lot of times we get in relationships and we stay there because we love them and we can't see anything past them. Meaning, I don't know what's on the other side if I let this go. I don't know what's on the other side if I begin to value myself and I'll begin to look at them differently. I'll begin to see him differently. I'll begin to see her differently. What I used to allow to happen, there is no more of that. And I think sometimes that's scary. It's scary when you don't know. The unknown can be scary at times. But I would rather be by myself than be in a relationship where I have to constantly question somebody, or I have to wonder if they're being faithful. I have to wonder if they're lying. I have to decipher through what they're telling me. I ain't got time for that. I don't have time for that. I would rather be by myself because I know I would never lie to me. Okay. Moving right along. As Fatima leaves, we see Gary. He just walks in. I'm like, first of all, both of these women are wiping their eyes. So you could tell this is something emotional and it's none of your damn business, whatever it is that they are talking about. But he walks his little happy ass in there. And I'm looking at Andy and Gary. And I said, you know what? Isolated, by themselves, these are two idiots. Like legit. I don't even like calling people that. But these are two idiots. And together, they are a damn natural catastrophe. This scene, I don't expect much from Andy. Let me just say that. I don't expect much from Andy, but this took the cake. So basically, Gary comes to Andy's place of business to tell her that she is not the best sex that he's ever had. And Andy was holding it together. I'm like, okay, sis, yeah, hold it together. She was like, okay. Yeah, and he just digging because it's like, oh, they didn't get the response I wanted. Yeah, yeah, your head game, it's kind of weak. I ain't gonna lie, okay? I'm not gonna lie. I screamed during this part. I laughed so incredibly hard, and for this reason. When Gary told Andy that her head game was weak, she was taken aback. And she was like, I know I'm good at what I do. Oh, so why do your eyes be rolling in the back of your head? Gary said, it's frustration. I said, go to hell. Gary, you so wrong, go to hell. That man said me rolling my eyes in the back of my head is due to frustration because you don't basically know what the hell you doing. Oh my God, I don't know why that tickled me so much, but I had a great laugh. I had a great laugh off of that. Andy's response is what took it over the top too, because she was just like, she was baffled. She could not believe it. She was actually taken aback, and she seemed like she was actually insulted by what he said. And I'm like, she was like, so we shouldn't have sex again. Okay, I'm gonna be at your house at 8:30. I said, what? Wait, what? What just happened here? Was y'all confused like I was? I said, wait a minute. How we go from let's not have sex anymore to I'm going to be at your house at 8:30? And she was like, well, I'm not going to be there. And then if I am there, you can't get in. And he was like, Andy, I know this turning you on. I can see it in your eyes. So I'll be there at 9:30. I'll be there whenever you there. I said, what? All the sisters drunk some of the Kool-Aid they weren't supposed to drink. That forbidden Kool-Aid, that forbidden drink, every last one of them drunk it. I couldn't believe Andy. Andy, Lord, she need help. And I'm going to leave that alone. So moving right along to Danny and Preston, another sister who took a big ass gulp of the Kool-Aid. So this was so left field for me. I don't know about y'all. Y'all can tell me how y'all feel. I am not happy for Danny and Preston. I'm not happy for Destin. I am not happy that they're together. And I'm going to tell y'all why. None of this made any sense. First of all, how we go from Danny at work, it didn't even show that she was actually processing or thinking about Preston at all the times that we saw her. She comes in the house and, she begins to tell him that she wants to give it a try. And I don't know about you guys, but it seemed like it took everything for Danny to say that. It looked like it was complete and utter torture for her to get those words out of her mouth. I said, okay, so before we get to that, well, let's stay there. Isn't Preston engaged to Mindy? Just because you put sis on a plane and sent her back to wherever y'all from, that does not mean that the engagement is off. I don't ever recall Preston stating to Danny not one time that him and Mindy broke up, that he called off the engagement, that he got his ring back, or she gave him the ring back. So I'm like, why should I be excited by the fact that Danny has had sex with with an engaged man, chose to start a relationship with an engaged man? In my personal opinion, Danny took a huge L. She took a huge L. Like, what are you talking about? Then she asked him, have you learned your lesson? And I'm like, what the Tyler, was you drunk when you wrote this? Has Preston learned his lesson? Danny basically told that man in previous episodes she didn't want nothing to do with him. She didn't want to be with him. None of those things. Did he learn his lesson? What was the lesson, sis? What was he supposed to learn? You and Preston have not, like, it was so nerve-wracking because I felt like I was in the Twilight Zone watching their scene. And with Preston, the more I see him, now he fine. Trinity is sexy as hell. But the more I see Preston, the more he begins to irk me because it just seems like he's just so, what's the word I can use? He's too eager. He's overly anxious to me to have sex with a black woman. Like, that's the vibe I'm getting from him. And I don't want to feel that way about him, but that's the vibe I'm getting. Like, I know that he has feelings for Danny and everything like that, but after he gave her that ultimatum, I was completely through with him because I don't like emotional manipulation and emotional control. I don't like things like that. And that's what Preston represents to me. I don't understand. Like, they literally had no talk about how this is supposed to go, what I want, what you want. We all know this ain't gonna last long. I just didn't understand like what the hell was actually going on in that scene. And also, it's so interesting. Now, we don't know Mindy, and I don't really care about Mindy like that. But hell, she's still Preston's fiance, and people had of course I'm about to get into it. So much energy for Karen, and her telling Zach she wanted to have sex with him, or let me get it straight. She wanted him to take her home and make love to her. Oh, she scum, she this, she that. But Danny has had sex with an engaged man, and people are happy. The contradictions. But anyway, moving right along, but we finna get into this Karen and Zach. Let me tell y'all. This scene with Karen and Zach was deplorable, despicable, and damn it, disgusting. And I'm so surprised all those D words just popped in my head. But y'all get the point. It made sense. Watching this scene, I was like, baby, how low can you really go? The desperation that was oozing out of Karen was something I never thought I would actually see. It was so disturbing watching this scene, and for several reasons. One, I don't understand why Karen and Zach had to go to a coffee shop to talk, because nothing, in my personal opinion, that they stated needed to be addressed in that coffee shop. I don't know why they couldn't just stand in front of the salon and say what needed to have been said, and then for them to go along about their day. So we're here at this coffee shop, and Karen begins to go down memory lane. I believe it was of their first date. And at that moment, the moment Karen tried to start talking about their first date and began to reminisce about their good times, Zach should have shut that down. So I do not have the same perspective of many of the people. Now, what I will say is I do respect the fact that Zach spoke to her like an adult. He wasn't raising his voice. He didn't have an attitude. He didn't suck his teeth. Now, for that, I will give him props for, because Zach is always whining. He always got this whiny tone on. But it was on his grown man in the way that he communicated. And I do appreciate that, and I would give him props for that. But he should have shut that down. There is no reason why Karen should feel comfortable going down memory lane, going down y'all first date, talking about all of that stuff, because it's not important and it holds no merit. So there was no reason for that. And so when Karen, when Zach began to talk about how, he's with Fatima, now I gotta call Zach out. This is the way that I see it. This is one of the many things that irks me about Tyler's writing. When Karen made the statement, I think she said something like, do you love her like you love me? Or do you love her more than you love me? And Zach told her that, no, he don't, because, it's different. Different means many things. What is different? This is how I feel. And I was definitely putting myself into these situations. And because I am a straightforward person, there's just certain conversations I don't have. I'm not going to sit with my ex who is engaged or who is married and we're not about to have a trip down memory lane. We're just not. I'm not going to ask him if he still loves me or anything like that, because certain things don't need to be said. It's just certain things you just know and you just be cool with it and you move on. This entire scene just irked me, because I'm like, Tyler, I get it. I really do get it. But I am sick and tired of seeing the character of Karen go through these vicious cycles. You get her to a point where it looks like she's moving on, and then her and Zach have sex in the closet, and then she's right back in this cycle of, I want him back, I'm going to get him back. She's moving on again. Looks like she's trying to make things happen with Aaron. She's going slow. Then we get, Jennifer come out the woodwork. Now, after he responded to her by believing that she was dead, now she thinks that Zach wants to be with her again. And she's going to go out of her way or do whatever she feels she needs to do to get him. Karen tried to play that victim role. So me and the baby, you going to act like we don't exist. And Zach was like, I'm going to help you get on your feet, but I don't even know if that baby is mine. This was the second missed opportunity that Karen had to either tell Aaron about the baby and to tell Zach about the baby. And she did not do either. The moment Zach said that he didn't know if the baby was his, Karen grabbed her purse and she was ready to go. And I'm like, Tyler, even though I do not care about who child this is, just stop making it a point to be brought up every episode and we are still left with nothing. Nothing is being, there's no conclusion. She just got up. I want you to take me home and make love to me. And Zach was like, nah, I ain't doing that. I ain't doing that. I'm with Fatima. Karen, I don't know how to be more clear. Okay. I'm going to leave the door open for you, because you ain't got a key no more. And she kept asking him, like, are you sure you with Fatima? Like, are you sure you're there? Are you sure that's where your heart is? Are you sure? And Zach feels like he said it. He no other way to be clearer. He told her that they were going to get married, that they were going to have a family, so on and so forth. So it's like at this point, Karen is choosing to ignore. And I'm one of those people too, because I'm going to get to with Zach and Fatima, because there are certain things that Zach said to Fatima. He said that he told Karen that he did not. And that's one of the things about Zach's character that I believe is purposely written by Tyler, because Zach admits a lot of things. And my thinking is this has to be done intentionally, because this is just, the character does it too much for it to be happenstance. Like, this is something that I have personally said, this is just Zach's character. He just leaves stuff out. He said he wasn't going to come over because he was with Fatima. He told Fatima that he wasn't going over there because he was in love with her. That's what he said he told Karen. And he didn't tell Karen that. That was a lie. But anyway, I'm looking at Karen. I said, girl, if you don't get your ass home, you sitting up here begging for this dude, Raggedy Penis, that done been all up and through Atlanta. He don't even know his count. Like, he don't even know his number. It's just so many women. And you want that? Zach fine, but I'm sorry. Shouldn't nobody be that hell bent on getting no contaminated penis. I'm sorry. And you give me an STD, nigga, you better be glad you still got one. Okay, that was a little violent. I was trying to keep this review like really, really, cool, calm, and collected. But I was just very disgusted with this character choices and her verbiage to Zach. And I also didn't like how she did Aaron. Like, why you played Aaron like that? She played Aaron to the left. And this is my thing too with Zach. Why you call the preacher man? His name is Aaron. And that's my thing. Like, people get upset, and I understand, and I'm gonna get a little more into that later, that Karen always calling Fatima a bitch, or she's get disrespectful and things of that nature, and people just expect Karen to have this type of respect for Fatima, which I don't know why. And you ain't gotta respect her, but you don't have to disrespect her either. Same with Aaron. Same with Zach. You may not like Aaron, and you may feel like you don't have to respect him, but you don't have to disrespect him either. His name is Aaron. So I'm calling him preacher man and all of that stuff, because every time he does that, that is coming from somewhere. And normally people who sit within the seat of jealousy, they tend to have little shots like that. They make little shots like that. And that's what I still get from the character of Zach. I know he stated that he's in love with Fatima. He don't love Karen like that. But something within me feels that he's just not being honest. There is a clear-cut reason as to why he consistently disrespects Aaron, why he never calls that man, or he always have to call him preacher man or something of the sort, why he's always so angry when Aaron comes around. And I believe it definitely has to do with Karen. It's not about him getting stabbed or any of those. It's not about him getting stabbed or any of those things. I personally believe it is about the fact that Zach, in his mind, believes that Karen loves Aaron, which she does, and that Karen is with Aaron. That's what Zach believes. And Karen was like, I'm not with him. I don't love him nearly as much as I love you. And I'm just like, leave my mans alone then. Okay? I was like, leave Aaron alone then. If that's how you feel, don't play with his emotions like that. Leave him alone. Anyway, that scene now, I have more, but this, like I said, these are just my thoughts right now. So going to Zach and Fatima. So when he gets home, he tries to kiss her, and she, moves her head to the side. She doesn't have on her ring, and we find out that Fatima has already packed her clothes, and her clothes are in the car. I was like, stay strong, sis. Stay strong. Now, I was feeling Fatima until she was like, Zach, when you left, you just left me there. You just left me. You forgot about me. And Zach was like, I was wrong. I'm sorry. I effed up. Now, I'm on Zach's side with this forever and always. I don't believe that what Zach did was wrong. I don't believe he was trying to humiliate her like she stated. I don't believe that he was trying to act like she didn't exist. In that moment, it was not about Fatima. He was giving some news about someone who he genuinely loves and the possibility of them being dead. And he left her at work. Fatima wasn't on the side of the road. Fatima wasn't in the place where she didn't have. She was at work. They literally had just came back. I'm assuming they went on her lunch break or whatever the case may be. She acted like he just left her out in the middle of the damn road to fend for herself, out in the middle of nowhere. And that wasn't the case. So I will always stand behind the fact that I believe that Zach's reaction was a real one. And no one has the authority to police someone on how they respond in traumatic situations. That I would never rock with Fatima with. And then the fact that she tried to selfishly make it about her, you left me. I don't know. Nah, girl, like, child. Anyway, so Zach was basically telling her, like, he never lost anyone like that. He didn't know, like, how was he supposed to respond and react or whatever the case may be. And so he begins to tell her about her meetup with his meetup with Karen. And it was interesting because she was like, I want to know details. What did she say? That right there, the moment Fatima stated that she wanted to have details or she needed to know details, I said, there is still some insecurity there. Because what do you need to know? That lets me know that you don't trust Zach to handle his affairs. Why do you need to know details? So Zach began to give details about Karen and him making love to her and her leaving her door unlocked and, all of these things of that nature. And I'm like, okay. So then it gets to a point where Zach asked her for grace. Like, you got to give me grace on this. Then Zach brings up Ian. And he was like, when you saw Ian, when you was in that tub up there, you looked the same way that I looked. And I said, that's a damn lie. Now, I'm with Fatima on this one. Or I'm going to stand by Fatima on this one. The way, it's the aftermath for me. So Zach, he can miss me with the you look the same way I look when he thought Karen was dead. And when, she found out Ian had a terminal illness. It was the aftermath. It was y'all on the phone, y'all flirting, y'all acting like y'all two high school students just living it up and having a ball on the phone, and you don't want to hang up. He don't want to hang up. No, you hang up. No, you hang up on 3 hang up. Okay, that's what they were doing. So I'm like, let's not act like you weren't flirting with Karen. You weren't giving Karen certain signals, because you were. And I hate the fact that somehow Tyler has a way of always making these men seem like the damn victim. So Fatima was like, okay, I'm going to give you grace, and I'm going to try my best to be more understanding. I said, you what? Baby, how more understanding can you be? Understanding about what? I'm like, you have allowed this man to come and talk to you and say whatever he said. Now he done made you rethink your decision. Put your ring back on. I said, what is this? I don't like the fact that Fatima always taking his ring off either. She take it off 1 week, on next week, on one. Girl, what you want? What you want? Because it's giving. I'm going to say that for later. Anyway, so they have a little happy ending or whatever. They kiss each other, tell each other they love you, so on and so forth. So we get to Karen's house. So Andy is the first one to arrive. Then Sabrina and Danny comes, and she tells them that Zach is coming over to have sex, so they need to get out because she didn't invite them over anyway. I was like, yeah, but this is what y'all do. Y'all just pop up and come in each other's houses and stuff like that, which I don't understand, but okay. And so in the midst of them talking, the door opens, which we clearly see that it was either Danny or Sabrina who did not lock the door behind them. I don't know which one came in first, but they just closed the door. The door was closed. So the people who was like, well, the door was cracked open. The door was, which I don't give a damn if it was. They don't give Fatima the right to come in. The door was closed because you could clearly see that latch go down when Fatima walked her happy ass in. And Fatima was like, oh, that's what I want to know. And Karen kind of turned. Everybody looked like Danny tapped Andy on the leg. Everybody looking like, what the hell? I said, Fatima, I don't care how nobody feel about this. I don't give a damn. Fatima is screaming insecure to me. That's all I see is insecure. Number one, you and your man just had a conversation. He told you that this woman propositioned him and wanted him to come over and make love to her. He's not there and he's not going. He's with you. What made you go to her house as if you about to get some straightening done? Like, that's the part that gets me. If I'm secure and I trust the fact that my man handled that situation, what am I going to this other woman for? Because going to her is not going to get anything done. Number two, you can't control what comes out of Karen's mouth. If you leave my house right now, which I'm trying not to get into the trailer because I'm make a separate video for that, but you can't control what I do. You can't control what I say. If I tell Zach I want to F him every day, I'm gonna do that. Now I hope she don't do that, but I'm just saying you can't control what comes out of another grown person's mouth. You cannot control their feelings. You can't do any of that. So to me, it furthermore to me gives Karen the ammunition to think it's something going on. Why you at this girl's house? Because if you was really taking care of business and handling yourself, there would be no need for you to be here. Because really, what you gonna do? And I'm gonna leave that there. Overall, I think this was a good episode. I just don't know what any of these sisters were thinking about. Like, I was so mad. I went through so many ups and downs, like emotion, which was good, but it was just so much. And I don't know. I just really wanted Fatima to leave Zach. I really did. I was rooting for her. You know, that meme of Tyra Banks was like, I was rooting for you. We were all rooting for you. I don't know about we, because people want them together no matter what hell Zach puts her through. They just want her to stay bound. You know what I'm saying? Stick beside him. I wanted Fatima to go. Even if it wasn't permanent, at least a temporary breakup, temporary separation, girl, because that man, girl, you doing the most, child. And all you do is got a ring on your finger, an engagement ring on your finger. You ain't even got the last name yet, and you done been through hell and back. But I'm gonna let it go. I'm gonna let it go. But I think I got everything I want to get out at this point in time. I believe so. going back, I wanted to say this about Danny and Preston because I know a lot of people are so happy. Danny has experienced a lot of trauma in recent days because it haven't even been a whole week. In recent days with Jonah and of the sort. And the way I look at Preston in Danny's life, I look at him as a pleasurable distraction because she obviously does enjoy him as a person. She enjoys having sex with him. But other than that, there's nothing. There's nothing there. The things that Danny presented that were huge issues as to why she couldn't be with Preston, none of those things have changed. They're still there. So I'm just interested to see how Danny maneuvers through this because Danny is someone who is continuing to push down her traumatic experiences, to push down the things that really affected her. And now she's connecting with this man. I just believe it's just another way for her not to deal with the things that she knows that she needs to deal with. I just want to make sure I said that because that's what was on my heart. That's what I was feeling. I forgot to say it. But yeah, I want to thank you guys for listening. I know this is longer than usual. That's just what it is. But I do thank you guys for listening. I hope you guys look forward to the different videos I'm going to talk about with this. And I thank everybody who has emailed me. Like I said, even if I don't agree with what you're saying, we can still have dialogue and converse back and forth. But yeah, until next time, I will holler at y'all later and y'all be safe out there. When.